Gonzaga -8.5, opening up against Coach Musselman and Arkansas. The Razorbacks here, 155.5 as an opening total. This will, in fact, go off tomorrow, 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time tip. And call me crazy, but the Zags #1 for good reason here. And I don't know that this number is going to go any lower, Drew. So are you a believer in the Zags getting it done against Arkansas tomorrow?
You know what, Joe, from a side perspective, I don't think I am. I think I like this Arkansas side. Now, I am worried a little bit here about the travel aspect. You know, keep in mind, they're going from Fayetteville, Arkansas to Buffalo, New York, back to Fayetteville, and then out to San Francisco, California. So we get the time change there, all of that kind of included. But the fact of, you know, something I like to do here, Joe, is in the Sweet 16, the first round of the tournament, the Sweet 16 and Final Four, I like to have the better coach. I don't know who I would give that to here. You know, Mark Few versus Musselman, I think it's about even, so I'll wash it there. But Arkansas, you know, the basketball that they've been playing of late, a lot of people going to point to, you know, that stretch where they were, 13-1 ATS. Well, that's turned into 15-5 ATS, losing the last 3 against the spread. So they're kind of being taxed a little bit here in the marketplace. That worries me as well. But Gonzaga, looking at how they've played of late, yes, Gonzaga, the #1 overall seed. They've won the games to get here, no doubt about it. But they have lost 5 straight against the spread. They've also lost 8 of 9, depending what numbers you got there. So they've been a real money burner here of late. They've given up an average of 73 points per game. So that lockdown defense, 73 points per game their last 6 games. So of late, not playing that same defense. The Bulldogs, that we can kind of remember here in the West Coast Conference, last 3 games have finished over the total by 33 points combined. So for whatever reason, it's not really working. Now, granted, it's against good offensive teams, but Arkansas getting to the free throw line a bunch, going to drive to the basket. If the refs are calling these fouls tight, I think that's advantage to the Razorbacks. If not, I'd say it's an advantage to Gonzaga. Overall, kind of a difficult handicap here. But you make me choose it, Joe, and I will take the dog plus 9.5 here with Pig Suey and the Arkansas Razorbacks.
All right. The money has come in hard. It's coming fast, Trig. We watched it out in Vegas when that number came up. The money came rolling in. But is it past the point now? Is it too much? You believe that J.D. Note and company can get it done against the #1 Zags?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think they can get it done. Joe, I had the pleasure of grinding out Drew Martin Betts' 5% play on Saturday night with him in person at Circa Sportsbook, where he needed the points and it got there to the over. And I got to say, I would not be all that shocked if we kind of see the same game. Memphis is like a worse version of Arkansas, in my opinion. The two teams are very similar. And I don't think the final score in Gonzaga-Memphis really does justice to how close Memphis was to winning that game. As you see on the screen right here, 10-point lead at halftime. And Memphis really was right in it till the end, until Gonzaga was kind of able to pull away. Now, Arkansas is going to need to shoot the ball better than they did the first weekend. I don't think that's a rocket science, right? Like you're not going to get away with a 7-minute scoring drought against Gonzaga, because they're far better offensively than Vermont and New Mexico State. But I think Arkansas deserves a little credit. I feel like they've gotten bashed a little bit because they struggled with those two teams. But I don't think either of those teams was even a good matchup for Arkansas. And they found a way. They buckled down on defense when the shots weren't falling, and they were able to get there and get to the Sweet 16. In this game, I think we could see a faster pace, which would, in my opinion, benefit Arkansas. I think Gonzaga struggles to guard really physical, athletic guards, which Arkansas has. And the defense for Arkansas has been really good. So, in my opinion, you've got this number up where it is now. Looking at my odds screen here, I think we're seeing 9.5 pretty much the going rate at this point. I don't see why Arkansas can't hang within that number, especially if you subscribe to the theory that this might be an over game with points. And you're going to need some scoring from Arkansas for that to get there. So, to me, the number's too big. Gonzaga is really good. I think a lot of people are putting them in this game. I hope that's not the case. I have Arkansas 80-1 to win this thing that I bet back in February at some point. We talked about it on our show on The Hustle. But no, Arkansas, they're going to be in this game. The only way Gonzaga covers this number, in my opinion, is if Arkansas has another prolonged scoring drought. But I think this matchup for Arkansas is going to be easier for them to score. And let's face it, they shot the ball horribly last weekend. Let's get a little positive shooting regression here for Arkansas. And I think if they get that, they're going to stay within a very big.
Yeah, 10 of 37 from the perimeter, Matt, for Arkansas. They're going to need to do better than that from three if they want to take down the Zags. Are you a believer in the dog here, or do you think the Zags have too much firepower?
My partners here, they should go into comedy for some of the things they've said. First off, Drew said that Mark Few and Musselman are comparable. What kind of world is that? Mark Few coaches circles around Musselman. I don't.
Musselman has
that.
one working arm here, Matt. One working arm, and he's got him into the Sweet 16. What are you talking about, man? I think that they are, especially recently.
See, there you go. The Westgate needs to call you to be their new bar act, because that's pretty funny too. But seriously, like, we're talking about this from the Arkansas side, but like, who's covering Holmgren and Timmy? I mean, Jalen Williams is only one guy, and if they don't fall for his constant flops that are called charges, like, he's going to be out of the game pretty quick. And Trig is right, though, if with regards to the foul calling, like, if they don't call his flops as charges, he's going to be out of the game in the first couple minutes. I actually think I like Gonzaga in the first half here. I think that we've seen Gonzaga come out and play some poor first halves, and I think Mark Few's going to really hammer that home. I think there could be some value in Arkansas in the second half if Gonzaga, in theory, gets out to a nice lead. But I'm just, who's covering Timmy? Who's covering Holmgren? Williams can't cover both of them. And then if you're going to double them, hopefully Bolton and some of those other guys are going to hit some threes. Strother has not been very good in the tournament so far. So I think this is a really good matchup for Gonzaga here. I'm looking at the Zags in the first half after hearing for so long about how poorly they've played coming out of Remember, they were in a close game in the first half with Georgia State. I like Gonzaga first half here to send a message early.
Yeah, the SEC, pretty much the only team left here. 2-7 against the number in the tournaments. Can they get it done here? We're going to find out. It'll be interesting. The Zags taking on Arkansas. That's tomorrow.